Hey everybody, Jake here. Welcome back to Movie Smoothie, where today we are talking a little bbit about Beavis and Butthead Do America. I'm very excited to get into this, and the big reason I'm doing it is because my review on Beavis and Butthead Do the Galaxy, or Go, whatever it's called, the second Beavis and Butthead movie on Paramount Plus, that video did really well. So thank you guys so much for watching that. I greatly appreciate it. So today we're going to talk about where it all started for them in the movie business, that is, because obviously there's a little more Beavis and Butthead before this movie came out. But before we do that, of course, if you guys could like this video and subscribe to Movie Smoothie, I would greatly appreciate it. We're a quarter of the way to 1,250 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Let's get to 1,000 subs. Let's make it happen. Go subscribe to this page. I'd appreciate it. So, talking about Beavis and Butthead Do America, this film is described as two of the biggest animated slackers around. Beavis and Butthead, played by Mike Judge, of course, get a kickstart when two crooks steal their TV. On their mission to find a replacement, Beavis and Butthead wind up in the motel of Muddy Grimes, played by Bruce Willis, where a case of mistaken identity has them after his wife Dallas, played by Demi Moore, actually Bruce Willis's wife at the time. Due to misunderstanding Grimes when he says to do his wife, the two travel from Las Vegas to Washington, not realizing they've been sent out to kill the woman. The film was released on December 20th of 1996, directed by Mike Judge, who also voices the two main characters, and made $63 million at the box office. Pretty dang good for its $12 million budget, I'll tell you what. So, a few things I want to just talk about with this film. It's just right from that description of the film, we talk about misunderstandings, and this whole plot revolves around misunderstandings as well as the sequel, and I just think that's so fun to watch. I could watch that over and over and over again with characters just totally misunderstanding things because of their perception of reality, which Beavis and Butthead's reality is watch TV, eat like Cheetos and they want to score. That's about it. I mean, that's really it. I'm kind of shocked they're not like smoking pot or anything like at their house. I've always thought that was kind of strange with these guys. They definitely seem like they just haven't discovered it yet. Is maybe that's maybe my guess. They're so dumb. They have not gotten to that point yet. That's coming from a stoner myself, so I mean, come on. No diss towards the stoners out there, but yeah, I love this opening scene to this movie. Once again, another thing that's just so dumb. They can't even figure out where their TV has gone, even though there's footprints all through their house, and there's like a big old nasty spot where the TV was. There's people outside carrying away their TV, and there's something so funny about Butthead's inflection, the way he says things when like he says something so profound, but it's so dumb at the same time. He says, "This sucks more than anything has ever sucked before." Like, I don't know, just the way he says it is just so goofy. Like, whenever he's always kind of like he's the smart one, even though his name is Butthead, which I think is kind of ironic. He always says something profound that kind of like directs Beavis and Butthead's decisions, and then it's always just said with this silly ass inflection that I just love. It's very funny. I don't know. These guys just easily get a laugh out of me if it's them just doing their obviously I can't do it very well. But I just they always get a chuckle out of me if it's them just being really unbelievably stupid, or if it's some crazy misunderstanding that shifts the plot in a way you would never think. You would think having a conversation with these guys would just be so stupid, but it seems like everyone in their world just seems to understand them or misunderstand them in a very strange way that furthers the plot. It's very fun. It's very crazy and fun to watch. You would never expect these characters to be at the front of a plot like this that's actually kind of like dark and action-y and thriller based and all that. It's crazy. It's just a crazy plot line and very silly to me. I love it. It's really good stuff. I genuinely think this is one of my favorite adult animated comedies of all time for multiple reasons. Like I said, just the stupid humor, definitely my flavor of humor. I love it. It's good stuff. If you're into that, you'll like this movie, like straight up. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie from '96, like I said, but definitely a banger, and nonetheless. They're so dumb it hurts at points throughout this movie, like the cornholio thing on the plane. He just takes like handfuls and handfuls of pills. I don't know how Beavis doesn't OD, but he's just going for it, man. And I can't even tell you how many times as a kid I would walk up to strangers and be like, "I am Cornholio. I need teepee for my bunghole." Like, I would do that all the time as a kid. I don't know why my parents let me watch this. Like, it's probably why I'm so messed up as an adult. But I still think about that to this day. It's still funny. If I'm if I'm watching this, I can't help but quote it a little bit. It's great. But truly, one of my favorite scenes in animation history is like the trippy desert scene where they're just tripping out. Speaking of speaking of psychedelics, they are tripping out in the middle of the desert, and it is like the most awful, disgusting animation, and I love it. Like, it's great. I can't get enough of it with that the White Zombie song, I mean, behind it, backing it. Oh, it's just a banger. I love it. I love this movie so much. It's so fun. Where it ends up is all so goofy and silly. And if you guys haven't seen the sequel yet, I highly recommend it. It's just as stupid. It's just as like has the misunderstandings and all that. I think they captured what was so great about this original movie and like the series itself in that film. The one thing I say about the one thing I wish they would have commented on a little bit more is just the fact that like Beavis and Butthead got so big from like reacting to music videos, essentially. It was basically like a reaction channel before that was even a thing. I almost wish there was kind of like a little more of a commentary there with the movie in the overall plot line as well as in the new one. Obviously, music videos are nowhere near as big nowadays than they were in like the 90s or the 80s, but it's still something that's kind of like, you know, you wouldn't have Beavis and Butthead without that. If they weren't on MTV and they didn't comment on like the music videos and all that, I don't know if they would be as popular as they are. I don't know if this movie would even exist. So it's something I've always found strange about the films themselves to not comment on something like that or something along those lines. We do have a little bit of commentary in the new sequel, which I think is fun. This movie is pretty much just crazy, silly, whatever. But they kind of play off of like white privilege a little bit in the new movie, which it works really well, I think, with Beavis and Butthead and how they just it goes right over their heads and they're just so stupid. It's so fun. It's so fun. It's so stupid. And like I said, the misunderstandings driving this plot are just, I could watch those forever. There could be 3 or 4 more Beavis and Butthead movies and I will see them. If you just keep following that format, it's just something I can't get sick of. I don't know. I love it. It's great. It's a really fun film. So I really do enjoy Beavis and Butthead. I don't really do rankings, by the way. Like, I mean, not like ranking movies, but like rating movies. I don't really say like, 7 out of 10 or like 8 out of 10. I don't know. Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I don't really see the point. I feel like everyone has a different scale for ranking different kinds of genres and movies. Like I'd probably give this like a 9 out of 10 for animated films, but some people might look at me a little funny if I were to say that this is a 9 out of 10 movie. But I'm not talking about in general. I'm just talking about as an animated film for what they set out to do. I think 90% is what I would give this if I was grading it at a at a high school level or something, you know? I don't know. I feel like ratings are kind of weird. I don't know. It's a strange thing to me. I've never quite understood it. So what do you guys think about this though? How do you feel about Beavis and Butthead Do America? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this little review video. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, do all that stuff for Movie Smoothie so that this channel can get to 1,000 subs. I'd greatly appreciate that. And if you want to support this channel even further, you can support me over on my main page on Patreon or my channel members by clicking the join button over on the KillJoy Jake page, which is my main page where I talk about horror movies. You should subscribe to that if you're not, by the way. So thank you so much. This is Jake signing off, and who said movies can't be smooth?